Welcome to Heart. I'm your host, Suyoung. Let me first ask you a question. What are your dreams and what are you doing to make your dreams come true? Because today, our guest will probably be able to help you out with making the very first step towards making your dreams come true. I'm very happy to have her join us today. Please welcome Miss Kim Suyoung, the heroine of Dream Panorama Project. Hello, welcome to Heart.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for inviting me here.
Thank you. Kim Suyoung is a best-selling author, inspirational speaker, and most importantly, dreamer. Kim was a troubled kid in her early years, but has overcome all the hardships in her life and turned an impossible dream into the driving force of her life. Now, Kim strives to share her experience of living her life dream by dream and inspire people to dream a dream through her Dream Panorama project. Let's meet dreamer Kim Suyoung on today's Heart to Heart. Thank you very much for joining us today. You have written 2 books so far, and they became bestsellers. Not just one book, but both of them. How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel really lucky and grateful that people feel touched and inspired by my books and my stories.
You've been an inspiration to a lot of people, but there were times in your life where you didn't have any dreams. Let's start your story from that point of your life. How serious was your conditions when you were going through some tough times?
When I was 10 years old, my father's business went bankruptcy. So my family had to run away from where we are living and to another place where we didn't even have toilet or kitchen. The 6 of us had to live in one room all together. And every day I had to go to school in a bus for 2 hours on an unpaved road. And like often I couldn't bring all the whatever I needed for the school that I was scolded by teacher. And I was bullied by friends. So I even thought about suicide at the age of 12. And I think things got worse as I entered middle school. That my father was getting almost like alcoholic and drinking alcohol and often sweared, and which was really tough for a young child to accept. And I was also having a lot of troubles with teachers, and they often told me that, well, you have no future. I really wonder what you're going to become when you are adult, because I was like behaving really badly with drinking lots of alcohol, racing like crazy on a motorbike, and also getting involved in gang fights as well.
So you were more than a problem kid. You were pretty much a lost soul.
Much more than that, I guess.
And what incident made you turn around?
There have been a lot of incidents, but I think one of the worst was that when I was 14, and I used to have an issue with my hairstyle. I think it's same as all other teenagers. But another friend suggests me to get my hair dyed, and that will somehow help get my hair straightened, and I believe that. And I tried that, and it was completely damaged. It was not pretty, but it was all like blonde.
So you had curly hair before, but when you actually wanted straight hair.
Absolutely.
So you wanted to do something about it, and your friend said, dye your hair, and then it did something bad. Okay.
And then I went to school without thinking that was wrong. And one teacher suddenly grabbed my hair from behind, and suddenly she punched me like in front of a lot of other the kids, and I thought it was wrong. So I suggested that you should have to have the proper way of punishing students if you are a proper teacher. And that was taken as serious challenge to teachers' honor. And then so as soon as the story spread, I was called by teachers. I was beaten up like crazy, and I think that was the starting point that all the teachers called me and beated me up or gave me some sort of a punishment.
That was in your middle school?
Yeah, and that I was rebelling even more than before, and I started hating the school, family, and the society.
Okay. Was there any friends or your family members who tried to sort of convince you that everything was going to be okay?
Not really, because I mean, my family had a lot of issues.
Other issues.
Yeah, within us as well. That my father was working as a builder and as a construction worker, and often there was no work in winter time or in summertime when it rains a lot. And also he was often injured. That helped the family find us really in serious trouble. So I think that all the worst things came all together at the time.
Now, let's first take a break here and take a look at these photos that were taken when you were going through some tough times and see what bad of a child you used to be.
All right. Well, that's when I was 1 year old. I think I was really pretty. I believe that I wanted to be a Miss Korea, and I had a lot of talent, especially I loved dancing and singing. So I often sang or presented in front of other students. And that's another moment that I was dancing in front of students. That's when the problem started. You see my hairstyle, and then I was getting more.
You were getting into some
more
fashion
rebellious
mode too.
That was 90s style. I was getting involved with lots of boys, gang fights. My hair became even more rebellious. I think when I was about high school student, I think that's when I was relatively okay stage. Also, when I was in high school, I was singing in front of the students. So I always loved the singing and dancing, and especially when my hero, Sateji and Boys, debuted, it was like a really big breakthrough in the teenagehood that we loved singing and dancing along his songs. So, and I think that's completely normal for that age, but teachers also regard it as like a wrong behavior, that because you're a student, you only have to study, not like singing or dancing like that. So I think, I mean, a lot of people may not understand these days anymore, but there were some moments like that in those old days. And at the time still, teachers are very conservative, and even like a small talent kind of showing off was regarded as rebel.
Now then, when did you decide, or what incident in your life made you turn around and say, I'm going to get back on my life and be good?
So when I was 15, I was just really, my life was getting nowhere, and I ran away from home 3 times. And first time, second time, I was caught by police, and third time I wasn't. So I was relatively successful in terms of running away from home and family. And when it was about my 3rd month, I heard another song from Sateji and Boys titled Come Back Home. So this was my hero saying, come back home. So I must come back home. So I really came back home. But I think there was a lot more than that, having my own idol saying that, because one of the lyrics, one part of the lyrics was saying, you are still young, you can have a good future, so wipe your tears and come back home. And this was the moment, the first time I ever had self-esteem. Because when I was in my school or family, nobody told me that I'm a precious human being. They never told me that I can have a better future. Because they just, my father said that because we are from this kind of poor family, I think all you can expect is to get a job in a factory or something like that. And my teacher said that, I swear, God, that you will be some kind of trash in this society. I really hope you disappear from school and from everyone else. So that's the kind of things that I used to hear from all the other people around me. So it was the first moment that Sateji, although he didn't know me personally, he told me that I'm okay. Because I'm young, I can have a good future, and I can really try, and I will be a better person.